So let's see how to use condition technique. Let First of all, let's try to understand what is condition technique. What are the applications in which we use condition technique? How to use condition technique? Okay, so as the name, condition technique, it's a generic word. It can be applied to many of the SAP applications, not only in MM, but in MMSD, even in accounting as well. Okay, so in we use it for price determination procedure, message determination procedure, and of course even batch determination procedure. So how pricing is controlled in SAP? So let's try to understand this one. Pricing, as the term used in SAP, describes the calculation of various prices and costs. Let's say when you create a purchase order, you will have various pricing elements like gross price, discount, surcharge, freight, taxes, so on and so forth. So together, as what are the pricing elements to be defaulted automatically into the purchase order is what we call it as pricing procedure in SAP MM purchasing. So that's what we are going to discuss it. So the pricing in SAP is actually controlled by a term called condition technique, a concept called condition technique. So, by once we complete the price determination procedure, you would understand how it will be controlled. Like I said, the condition technique is not only used in SAP MM, but it's used in multiple places. Let me put it here. Condition technique. So this, we use it for pricing, we use it for message or output determination, okay, and we use it for also called batch determination, okay, we use it for partner determination, okay, all these four we use it in SAP MM, okay, so these are all from part of SAP MM. So we have already discussed about partner determination when we work with vendor master, and we will see today price determination, message determination tomorrow, batch determination in case of batch management. Apart from this, you could see here it's also used at multiple places in sales order processing, like when you purchase material from vendor, you will have various prices or pricing elements negotiated by your buyer. Similarly, when you sell the product of yours to customer, you will also have gross price, discount, surcharge, net price, so on and so forth. This is from the sales order perspective. So therefore, the condition technique is also being used in sales order processing. It's being used in invoice processing, purchasing, which we are discussing right now, stock transport order with SD delivery and billing. This is part of STPO, stock transport order with SD delivery and billing, that is across company codes, which we will see it in special procurement. It's also being used in tax calculation. It's also used in costing sheets for orders or internal orders. In other applications, it's used in revenue account determination, text determination, output and partner determination, again part of SAP MM. In case of what you call workflow, where there is something called um, um, work item ID. Okay, it's used in that place and also in batch determination. So in all other places where the same concept is used, but you will probably see slightly different terminology. Okay, now to work with pricing or to work with what you call the condition technique, you need to know these terms. Terms to be known. Okay, the first and foremost thing, what we call it as, let's say, pricing procedure. In case of pricing, we call it as pricing procedure, or the generic name is something called calculation schema. Okay, so you need to understand what we call it as calculation schema. You have something called schema group for vendor. Okay, so you have also one more thing called schema group for purchasing organization. Okay, then you have something called condition type. Okay, so you have condition table, you have something called condition record. Okay, you have something called access sequence key, you have one more thing called sequence key. Okay, what else? Are these the only things?
7 items.
Sorry?
Seven
Yeah,
items.
7 items, right? So the okay, there's one more thing which I have forgotten. There is something called exclusion indicator. Okay, so these are the ones which you need to remember or which you need to understand as part of condition technique. So let me explain you each and everything, and then I'll go with configuration and then configure. Pricing procedure for calculation schema. Okay, this contains, right? So it contains list of valid condition types. Okay, condition type. Okay, list of valid condition types for a, I would say, specific vendor and purchase organization, right? So this is what we call it as calculation schema, or what we call it as a pricing procedure. And what is schema group for vendor? Schema group for vendor is nothing but a key assigned to the vendor, okay, which is used to determine the correct, I would say, correct calculation schema. In a way, you call it as pricing procedure for a specific vendor. I would say for a specific vendor. Okay, so it's a key that is assigned to a vendor which is used to determine the correct calculation schema or a pricing procedure for a specific vendor. Then what is schema group for purchasing organization? Okay, this is also a key. Okay, this is also a key assigned to a purchase organization which is used to determine the correct calculation schema or pricing procedure. Okay, pricing procedure if the items are procured by a specific purchasing organization. Okay, then let's try to understand what is condition type. A condition type is nothing but the type of the various types of condition types are nothing but the type of pricing element used. Okay, like cross price, it's one condition type. Discount is another condition type. Surcharge is one more condition type. So it's nothing but a form of a pricing element used in pricing procedure. I would say a form of pricing element. Example, gross price, discount, okay, tax, net price, etc. Okay, used in the pricing procedure. Okay, so this is called condition type. So what do you mean by condition table? Okay, so let's try to understand what is a condition table. Let's say, let me take one example as gross price. When I say gross price, that is the price of an item, you can get the gross price based on multiple things. Gross price, or rather the price, you can derive it from info record, or if you are referring a line item in a purchase order from a particular contract, that means you can get the item price from a contract. Okay, in case if you are working with service